Sorry,
The point, because to fulfill the law means we're no longer under the law of Moses, because it says one testament to end has to end by blood, and then the New Testament can start.
The book of Hebrews, yes.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's what it means to fulfill the law. Jesus had to fulfill everything under the law of Moses for the new law, the law of love, what you can say to come in.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
So
to answer your question,
people feel.
Let me
just finish.
Doing is she's not wrong.
Yeah, because people think that Jesus not abolishing the law means that the law is going to be there forever. That everyone has to still stone someone for adultery and stuff. That's not what it means. That's why they miss out the fulfill the law.
But isn't the fulfillment the prophecy that Jesus is going to come? Wasn't that the fulfillment?
No.
Sorry, let me finish.
Yeah.
Before Jesus came, there was revelation that he was going to come.
Yes.
So now he's come, he's fulfilled the prophecies of before. Like which other prophets prophesied that the Messiah will come and so wasn't that the prophecy when he said I've come to fulfill that law?
No, but it's everything in terms of completing the law so that we're not under the law. So that's why the crucifixion was the end of the law of Moses, and that's why you had like the Beatitudes where Jesus is starting to say the different things that will come in. No more an eye for an eye, love your neighbor as you love yourself, because under the Old Testament law it was an eye for an eye. You understand?
Tooth for a tooth.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why Jesus, even with the adultery, even divorce, he says no more. Like a man is for one woman. Because even before, under the law, because he said, why did you allow it? Because that wasn't God's original intention, but it was allowed under the law of Moses.
Even under the law, if you marry somebody, like for example, you marry your wife, the only way you can marry another person is if your wife dies or if your husband dies. That's the only way. Whether it's when the Pharisees came to him, said there was a man who had a wife. He died, and then the wife married a brother. The brother died. The wife married the other brother.
That was about heaven.
No, wait, hang on. The other brother died, and then he said, in the resurrection, who is she going to be married to? That's actually a true story, because that's what happened. See, Judah, all of his children died, and Tamar, right? She didn't have any children. So the tribe of Judah, the only way they came about to be was Tamar played the harlot, and Judah actually impregnated Tamar, and that's how the lineage of the tribe of Judah continued. So all of Judah's children died, and then the wife of the first child who married Tamar, she married all the brothers, and they all died. So that was actually when the Pharisees and the scribes asked him that question. That was actually about the lineage of the tribe of Judah. So that was actually a true story. It wasn't some random question to test him to find out what would happen in the resurrection. They added that onto it, but that was actually a true story about the tribe of Judah. Just a fun fact.
Yeah, but just going back to the point, but that's like the whole thing when we see like Jesus and the crucifixion, because it's like, from a Muslim, you would have to ask yourself, like, why do Jews have want a temple? Why did they have a temple? Why did they have priests? Why was there every year the day of Sabbath where they had to sacrifice an animal? So it's like you have the Islamic narrative, but it doesn't explain the history of why these things were necessarily. Because if you look at it from the Jewish perspective, and just one other point, it's like in this day and age now, a lot of Jews convert to Christianity, and if you look at how a Christian debates with a Jew or discusses the Bible, it's about the interpretation of the passages. For example, when you see a Muslim debate or discuss the Bible with a Jew, it'll be like, oh, your Bible's corrupt, you can't trust this. They pick and choose verses, but a Christian cannot use that argument with a Jewish person, because we believe the Bible hasn't been corrupted.
Because we need the Tanakh.
No, of course, no, but that's what I'm saying. We don't believe it's been corrupt, so it's always about the interpretation. What does this verse mean? Why we'll say to a Jew, why did you have the day of Sabbath? Jesus represents the fulfillment of the day of Sabbath.
In the Old Testament, doesn't it talk about the lying pen of the scribes? That they
in Jeremiah. So now let's go with that point. If the Jews were corrupt in the scripture, let's just go with that point. I don't believe they were, but let's just go with that. That was in Jeremiah. So then you had prophets afterwards, Micah, Jesus. Are we saying then Jesus was using the corrupt Torah? Because if the
You said Jeremiah.
Yeah, but Tanakh can be the Torah. Like it's interchangeable.
It's part.
The 5 books can be, but sometimes you can say the Torah is the.
No. So the Tanakh. So basically, as soon as you go past the 5 books, you have to say the Tanakh.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like some people, like even Jews, will say Torah for the whole thing. I know we say specifically the 5 books of Moses, but I just use it interchangeably. But for clarification, I can use Tanakh. But the point would be, if God has, let's just say it was corrupt. Now, the Bible is writing that from a prophet. Do you not think God would tell that prophet where it's been corrupted, or would you think that God would tell that prophet to still use a corrupt book all the way up to until the time of Jesus?
Well, I believe that Jesus had Gospels, so I believe Jesus had his own law.
But Jesus was a Jew, and remember the Jews were there as well.
But what I'm trying to say is, from what my belief is, I believe that when Jesus came on the earth, what him and the rabbis were not on the same page.
Okay.
They was not on the same page. So what I'm saying is that he came with things that the rabbis weren't happy with, because I believe that those books were changed. The rabbis done things. Sorry, but I'm going to get to you. Forgive me. Yeah. So I believe that the rabbis were doing things and they were changing the scripture to suit themselves. When Jesus came, he came to correct them.
I see what he's trying to say is that the Pharisees, they were using it for their own benefit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You know what it is? And even if you look before that, like what you were saying with Jeremiah,
Jeremiah 8:8, the lion pen of the scribes.
You know the verse, right?
All the prophets prior were persecuted. They were all persecuted, even though they all had the same message. And it's the same thing that happened when Jesus came. He was persecuted. It's what he represented. Just like when Jeremiah, he condemned them and said this will happen and that will happen. They refused it. Same thing with all the prophets prior to that. They always condemned the message of the prophets. It's not because what they were saying was changed or what was before them was changed. It is the message they came with that they did not like. And because they were corrupted. For example, they were selling you weren't allowed to bring your own sacrifice, you had to buy their sacrifice. The animals they had, you had to buy that. They were corrupting things, you know what I mean?
But that was recorded in books, right? Because it was talking about the lion pen of the woeful
scribe. But then this is the thing. So if the book admits to that, wouldn't the book be honest in saying, I'm just going with the argument, let's say it's corruption, then wouldn't the book that show the honesty of the book that saying these things are so you're trying to say, well, look, your book even says it's corrupt, we can't trust it now. But if the book is saying things like what they were doing, that's even more reason to corrupt the book, because you would take that out. You wouldn't write it in the book.
You would take it out.
Does that make sense?
That's a false premise, because how would you know it was taken out of the book? How would you know it was taken out?
No, but I'm saying if you're using that as evidence against the book to say, well, people are corrupting it, if the whole book is corrupt, you would then, and people are changing the book, you wouldn't put that in. Because if you're pulling it in, it means you're saying that the book is truthful.
It doesn't. Because if you think about it like this, originally the text, regardless of what it is, whether it's the Torah, the Tanakh, or the New Testament, you have to agree to some extent that it did come from a divine source. Right?
Say that again?
It did come from a divine source. The same way
What didn't come from a divine source? What did you say? What didn't come from a divine source?
The text.
The text of the Bible.
No, the Old Testament and the New Testament.
So the Holy Bible, everything inside.
No, ideally, the Old Testament and the New Testament would have to have a divine source where they come from, in the beginning of it all. A prophet brought them.
But when you say the Old Testament, do you mean just like the book of Moses? Do you mean the
whatever
Zabur?
Whatever Moses came with.
And what about the Psalms as well? The Zabur, the Tanakh,
David, all of that,
the Injil, everything. So
literally Old Testament, New Testament, what every prophet came with had to have been from a divine source. That's one. But the fact of the matter is, if you have other prophets saying that other people corrupted the books and they removed parts, they took parts and described it this and that, the fact is...
No, bro, there's not a prophet that says
that's not what he's saying.
No, what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying? I made a point against it.
I understand what he's saying. I understand what you're saying. But they're basically saying that if prophets came and said that the book was corrupted, that the book that they're trying to stand on is corrupted, then how can you say the book ain't corrupted when their own prophets are saying it's corrupted?
No, that's what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to make is, by you acknowledging the fact that they left the verses that are talking about corruption in the books in there, and that somehow nullifies the idea that the corruption didn't take place, because why would they keep it in the verse? That's what you're saying. Why did they take those verses out as well? That's the basic point you're making.
No, so I'm essentially saying, obviously, I'm making a stillman argument. So
I understand.
So I'm saying, if the people,
minus the other.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that specific point. I'm not talking about the whole conversation you were having. I'm talking about that specific point that you made. It goes back on itself.
Okay.
Right? Because you can't use that as evidence when that if anything, wouldn't even matter as long as the original premise stays in place.
Which is
why you're talking about the fact that, I don't know who quoted Jeremiah.
yeah.
Jeremiah's here.
8:8.
8:8, right?
Yeah.
Should I read it so everyone gets it verbatim? Yeah. Or read. You want to read it? I don't want to be accused of
I came
being
to talk about something completely different.
Jeremiah 8.
Yeah. So Jeremiah 8 is here. For how can you say we are the wise?
How can you say we are wise? For we have the law of the Lord, when actually the lying pen of scribes has handed it falsely.
Right. So by you using this verse to somehow say, okay, why did they keep this point in?
Yeah.
It goes against it because, okay, if
There's an answer in the Bible to that anyway,
No,
like
no,
further in
no,
Jeremiah, but I'm not
it's
gonna.
fine,
words.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm against your argument specifically.
Yeah, yeah,
So why
yeah.
would they keep it in here?
Yeah.
If there's a prophet clearly saying,
Yep.
yeah, that there is some corruption already, regardless of the extent of the corruption.
Yeah.
Shame.
How is that evidence to the contrary of the point that you're making? If anything, that supports the argument.
Yeah, so my point was, if they said that, it would show that there was an honesty in the book. So the things that we would read in the book, because it doesn't say specifically. Obviously, I'm making an argument
Yeah,
that I don't
I
believe in,
know.
but I'm just saying, testing the logic.
Right.
So,
yeah. But here's the thing. Though.
so,
I'm
so
sorry to cut you. Go
the
ahead.
so the point would be, it wouldn't say specifically what had been changed, right? But then people will say, well, I trust this verse and I don't trust that verse. So, for example,
Is that the whole definition of corruption?
yeah, no, for example, you would take, let's just say he brought that verse up and said, I believe this verse is true. So then why would you believe that verse is true, but not all the other
I see.
verses
Okay, so-
are not true?
Okay, so you're throwing out an idea, you're throwing out a doubt, which basically means, what if that's part of the corruption? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
that doesn't help the case.
No. I'm saying, you're saying, he will say, well, your own book says it's corrupt. Well, you could even make
Yeah, you see, it's a
that point,
problem, it's a
but
problem.
no, it's not for me. But if you're making that point, so you believe this verse,
No, the point you made,
Yeah.
because you say don't believe in that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
point trying to make it the point that you made, and I think you understand the problem with that point.
yeah, go on, say it again.
You don't believe in the argument. It's not even an argument. It's not,
Yeah.
You can't even say for the sake of argument, because if anything, you're digging a hole
Mm-hmm.
that you will refuse to get into because you don't believe it to begin with.
Yeah, no, but I'm just trying to test the logic, because if you're saying, people use this argument, your book says it's corrupt. So, one, it would be, if it says there was a lying pen of the scribes, that means, one, the person making that claim believes that verse is true. So when the Bible says something else, why are you disregarding it? Why are you just saying you... Huh?
It's not the Bible, because the Bible's been changed by King James. So the
No.
translation-
You don't know.
I do know.
No, because we have the Dead Sea Scrolls, for example. We have manuscripts. King
Yeah,
James's
but the
Bible
Bible
came
that-
way too late.
Yeah, but the
It wasn't
Bible-
in English.
But the Bible that we're using now,
It doesn't matter. We still have the Dead Sea
You don't-
Scrolls. We have manuscripts. We have the Vernaticus, the Sinaiticus from the 5th century. So, regardless of that's why you, for example, when you have the ESV, all these other translations, they don't rely specifically just on the King James. We have the manuscripts now. So let's
but how do you know
argument
that?
say,
But how do you know that? You've not read it yourself, have you?
because we have
Because what people say.
we have scholars. If people want to do it for themselves,
Scholars.
okay.
We've got scholars now reading the country.
So how do you know? Have you read the original manuscripts?
I can't say.
Have you read the original King James manuscript?
Have you?
You made the claim
Yeah, I
that
made
it
the
corrupted.
claim.
So I'm
I
saying,
never said they're corrupted.
what did you
I
say?
said we're not reading the Bible that you think we're not reading the real Bible. It's
So
been
which is the
translated. It's been changed so many times.
By who?
By many people.
Where?
By different kings to control the country.
Where you are,
Everywhere,
you asked for evidence. I'm asking you for the specific evidence
Yeah.
that it's been changed by kings. So I said, which
It's been
kings?
changed. It's
By
been
who?
changed. I can't say the kings, but I can say I can't remember.
So you asked me for evidence. So now I'm asking
No,
you
I'm
back
not-
for the
yeah, I'm
same
asking you,
evidence.
yeah,
So
I'm
you're
asking-
not, you're giving vague answers.
No, I'm not giving you vague answers. I'm telling you.
By
it's been
who?
changed. It's been changed.
When?
I've been told by many people.
Oh,
right?
you've been told.
No, no.
You see, when
No,
I
no,
said
no,
the
no,
scholars,
no.
you were like,
No, no, but I'm asking you.
Yes.
What scholars? Because you seem to know.
Bruce Mesca.
Right.
For
and you've read it
example.
yourself.
I've listened to his sermons.
Same.
One second, have you listened to Arthur S.P.? Have you
No.
read his book?
No.
Okay, anyway, listen, I'll support your claim with the next one. I specifically came here today.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were talking about genealogy.
Yes,
And I went
yeah.
to read, and I want to read, right?
Yeah.
You asked some questions, I have some answers. But before that,
Yeah.
I want us to go a step back.
No problem.
A few steps back.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but I don't think it says that they've written it in the book. I agree with what you're saying.
Siraj, what are you? Don't come in trouble,
So,
people.
like, for example, you have to
This guy, Islam defender Siraj.
Right, so I want to talk about, you talk about genealogy, and I remember you showed me a lot of things, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff, if you just spend like another 2 minutes researching it,
Yeah.
answer your own question. I will answer the question. I want to go a step back. I want to talk about, you talk about the genealogy. Like you kept saying we have the genealogy of Jesus Christ, right?
Yes.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
talk about the genealogy of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Right? And I want to talk about...
No, the two different genealogies.
No, not the two, there's more than two, right? All the way back in the Old Testament.
Yes, yeah.
And in the New Testament.
Yeah.
And I literally, I can give you your arguments before you give them to me.
Okay.
But the problem with the arguments is they don't go all the way through. It's like the moment you make an argument, the problem is it's sort of confusing.
Okay.
Right? Meaning one, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you why the genealogies are different. Then you're going to tell me, well, no, one of them is for Mary and one of them is for Joseph.
Yep.
But the book itself tells us
Yeah.
that it is the genealogy of, because the verse right before that tells us clearly that it is Joseph, son of Eli, and then the rest of
Yeah.
that's not even the issue.
Yeah.
You go to the Old Testament, look at the genealogy of David in the Old Testament.
Right.
The New Testament misses so many different names.
Yeah, because
But the other question remains, even if that's the position you're coming from, how then do you ask for other genealogies when, by all metrics, regardless of which one you accept, they go back on each other?
that's not. I thought you were going to come with a better argument. So let me.
Go ahead.
So
I wanna hear you
the
respond
first
to it.
point you answered
I
yourself.
asked this question. I want to build up on it. Just as you did that one.
So you mentioned the two genealogies, which you answered that.
And the one in the Old Testament of David.
Yeah. So in terms of, I have to look at that to see what you mean specifically.
I'll show you.
But yeah, let me just answer. But you can find it, and I was answer. So obviously the one in Luke says the son of Joseph. So when it says that,
But before we continue, who was Joseph to Jesus?
his adopted father, let's put it that way, because he wasn't his biological father.
Okay, he's his adopted father.
Right.
So
he was the husband of Mary. So he would be.
At what point in time was he a husband?
Why was it what?
At what point did he become a husband? At what point did he become a husband? After he was conceived or before that?
Before he was betrothed to her.
Yeah, but he wasn't a husband prior.
Yeah, but betrothed in that context is essentially
Engaged,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
that's fine.
So you're basically married to that person when you're betrothed.
Oh, so that would mean that Jesus' genealogy would take from Joseph.
Would take from Joseph.
Yes.
It should do, according to the Bible. According to Jewish traditions, and this is what Siraj. And let me just give you the evidence for that.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, because there are exceptions.
I have quite a bit to say. So I'm
Yeah. Let me just show you, because I'll give you the specific.
I know, I understand this. I just want to make sure I want to understand your position.
Yeah.
I don't want to make points you don't believe in, right? But okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, now continue.
Yeah. So let me just.
No, it's fine. I agree with.
Yeah, I'll give, because you said according to Jewish position, and we have someone who reads the Bible here. So let me just.
If your position is yes, I already understand. I understand what you're going to get.
Because there are exceptions. So basically, for example, when Israelite or when a Jewish person, an Israelite, only has daughters, the lineage can come through the daughters. So what you see when you look at genealogies in the Bible is sometimes the women are named instead of the men. So for example, if Mary,
that's the problem with that. No, I want you to make that point. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you right there.
All right,
that's specific. When the problem with that point is that's scriptural reasoning.
That's what?
That is scriptural reasoning.
Yeah, but here's the
because it's in the Bible, you therefore make justifications for it. When in no time prior in all the other genealogies in the Bible, that is not the Bible.
It does. That's what I'm saying to you.
In the Old Testament,
Yes. Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
So basically, it starts. Yeah, but let me respond to that point, because you tried to catch me out. I'm saying from Moses.
I can refute that. That's the point.
From Moses, let me just find. I've forgotten the daughters' names, because they asked. That was an exception that actually made by Moses. So this is before Christianity, before Jesus.
But that's not the question I'm asking.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is there was an exception that made that it doesn't always have to come through the lineage of the male.
I'm asking these questions not because I want an answer, but I want to understand what your position is.
Right.
Because once we get to the three different genealogies that go back to David, right? Whether it's the genealogy of David or the genealogy of Jesus Christ in Luke and in Matthew, right? Your position has to be very clear, because your position will basically destroy the claim that you have of any of the genealogy.
Okay, so are you happy with the first claim about the Mary and Joseph?
No, I'm not happy with that, but it's your position.
Okay, can I? That's what I'm saying. I can give you biblical evidence.
No, I've read a lot. And I'll tell you.
Right. So, but let me show you because
it's almost time for me to pray.
Okay.
I want to skip it. I just want to get your position, right? And then I'm gonna give you the genealogies, and based on your position, I want you to make them make sense.
Okay, wait. Let me just show you. This is the daughter. Numbers is in the Torah.
Yeah.
The daughters of Zephalahed.
I'm aware of this.
Are you aware of this? All right, no problem.
I'm just trying to get your position to make sure so we don't move away later.
So that's why I was saying when you're in regard to your question about David. Joseph. If he is the son-in-law, because in Luke it says that supposed, which is a legal line, which means he's the son-in-law. So therefore, the inheritance, because the legal one comes through Joseph,
it's fine.
and the bloodline comes from.
Okay, that's
all
perfect.
right.
Now let me get to my main point.
Okay.
So the two genealogies in the New Testament first. Forget David's genealogy in the Old Testament. In the New Testament. Right?
Okay.
So
from Matthew.
From Matthew and from Luke.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm comparing the ones from Matthew and from Luke. Right. I'm just gonna let you. I'm gonna let you
Right.
say why.
So that's Matthew and that's Luke. So what is the issue?
Now the question I have is,
Right.
when you have the genealogy of, this is Matthew, I'm assuming.
No, it's Luke. That's Matthew.
This is Matthew and this is Luke, right?
Yeah.
At no point in time, clearly the verse before makes it very clear in Luke that this is the genealogy not through Mary, but through Joseph. So how then do we say this is the genealogy through Mary?
Yeah.
Did we make a mistake?
No, that's very simple. Again, so let me show you something. Give you the answer to that. Because I want to show these specifics.
Can I get it from the Bible? Can you get it from the Bible?
Yeah. Of course, everything is through the Bible. So, right. So in Luke 3:23, it says Jesus, when he began his ministry, was about 30 years of age, being the son, as was supposed, of Joseph, the son of Heli. So if you look at I believe the Greek.
But then when it comes after that, but in the same book, it starts like that, then somehow we switch to the...
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I said, that's why I started, that's why I started, because of the curse of Jeconia, the bloodline cannot come through him.
Through Joseph?
Yes.
So what is the point of mentioning him?
Because it shows you that Joseph was the legal father, and it also says through Mary, he also had the claim to the line of David through the bloodline. So the legal is because he's the son-in-law, which gives him the legal line of inheritance through Jesus.
Is that from the Bible, or is that?
Yes, that's why I started. Hold on. You said let's go back. That's why I started with Numbers and the daughters of.
No, I don't have an issue with this.
Yeah.
My issue is.
No, you do.
Directly scriptural. No, I know.
Yeah. I'll tell you why you have an issue.
Here's the thing. If that was, if the Gospel of Luke said this is the genealogy of Jesus Christ through Mary, we will not be having this conversation.
Yes. But here's the thing. Now, if you do some more research, what you also find is people say that in the Greek, when it comes through when a genealogy is through the woman, it uses the definite article. So it would say, so in here, for example, let me just show you. When I showed you the genealogy, it would say like the in front. In English, they don't put the definite article. In Greek, you can notice it. So when it removes the definite article, then it refers to the male. So that's why people will say that the lineage would have come through Mary, because in the Greek, the way it's constructed.
Which manuscript are you referring to?
No, I'm just saying like.
It's a discrepancy based on which one you accept.
No, but I'm saying.
I can show you the discrepancy from the original.
Yeah, but even if there's variance in the manuscript, that's not.
And it doesn't have that. It doesn't have the definite article we talked about.
Yeah, but it does.
It doesn't.
It does.
I can show you two different manuscripts that have. One of them doesn't have it.
If you can bring but that's what I'm saying. In terms of variance,
No, but if I can show you one that doesn't have the definite author, what would we do with that?
No, because we'll look at the dating of the. Because remember, for manuscripts, you have to look at all the manuscripts, not just compare two.
No, I understand that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If you just bring in two,
But the point I'm trying to make is which Bible do you use?
I generally use ESV, but it doesn't really make it. Yeah.
So is that hujjah against you? Is that something I can bring against you and then you stick to that?
No, but I'm not stuck with translations. So like KJV or whatever. I'm not like too because sometimes they can say different things. So I'm not like.
So which Bible do you accept as the word of God?
No, but that's what I'm saying. We're saying the translation. In terms, I use the Protestant Bible, which is the 66 books, not the Catholic Bible.
Okay.
Right. But in terms of translation, there's no difference between like ESV, King James. I'm not like some people say they're King James only. So my explanation to you, just so you get the point, is that when you look at the lineage in the Greek, which is not intuitive to English people, it uses the definite article, so you can generally identify that this genealogy belongs to a male or female. So when it says the supposed son of Joseph, it's referring to him as being a son-in-law. So therefore, it means that the lineage would have had to come through a woman because he receives the inheritance. That's why I went to the book of Numbers to give you the precedents, because it wasn't just something I was making up.
Okay, so there's a lot to say, but I want to make one more point.
All right.
I want to dash.
Or unless you want to go to Mohammed, unless you're here, or we can, when you come back, we can.
We can continue the
All right.
2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's been 2 weeks since the last one.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate the title, by the way, because
what was the title?
Something about lies, Muhammad's lineage dies.
Okay.
I didn't appreciate that. I didn't feel like I won.
No, it wasn't about you lying. The video title, because there's a saying.
I understand the saying.
It wasn't reflective of you.
It's three things. One.
Yeah.
First of all, I know this is a public space.
Yeah.
But that video in itself is generating revenue for someone. I don't know who.
Yeah.
So it's one. I am being used to some extent to generate revenue. That's one. Two, the title is very conducive to the conversation we had. So, and then three, rather raises the questions. What are the intentions behind the conversation?
Right. So let me start from the last one.
But that's besides the point. I mean, it's
if you have
evident answer. But
yeah.
Let's go back to the main point I was talking about.
Yeah, but you make points. Let me address them, because if you feel aggrieved, then at least let me.
But I don't think there's a way you get out of it to justify any of that.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, my point was obviously, last point, what is the point? The point would be 2 points. Muslims seem to claim Arabs come from Ishmael and also Muhammad. So the first point is, where did people, let's just say you have the hadith.
But that's besides that's coming back to the conversation. I don't understand how you go from the conversation to the title that you and the thing is, but here's the point though.
Yeah, but
here's the point.
that's what I'm saying.
I was making that point.
Yeah, but let me clarify.
Here's the thing, and I've watched a few other videos on the channel.
Yes, but let me clarify. I was clarifying.
No, but the clarification to some extent will mean nothing, because that's literally that's what the whole channel's naming scheme is based after.
Yeah.
So unless you
are we gonna give me 5 minutes and we'll have our discussion?
Unless you go through.
Yeah.
Unless you go through everything, it's like, oh no, this video.
Okay.
I understand the point.
Without lies, Muhammad's genealogy lies. What does that imply to you? When the title was.
Imply that everything we say about the Prophet ﷺ's genealogy is a lie. So unless we lie, there's no genealogy. Which
exactly.
But here's the point, though. Here's the point, and I'll give you.
So wait. If Muhammad, okay.
We don't lie. That's the point.
This is the point. Maybe not you, but you've been lied to.
That's not true.
This is why. That's
an assumption that you make.
No.
You can't justify the assumption.
No.
Then you're wrong with it.
Because this is the point.
You don't
believe the Bible is true because you believe in it must be lies.
And
is that true?
It's the same with you with the Quran.
Exactly. So that's my point. Why would you have an issue with that? Because if we believe that Islam is based on a lie, that means if you remove the lie.
I have an issue with it for many reasons. And you know the issue with it. You're trying to justify it.
But
that's the point.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you're a very logical person. So I'm saying the whole title it wasn't. Huh?
I wouldn't say I'm very logical.
No, you are.
You're praising me to try and. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but we've had like conversations which are on an intellectual level.
Very pleasant conversation.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, in terms of the title, we're trying to say that. That's why I said wasn't your lies, but Islam has been built on lies. As a Christian, I have to believe that. So I'm saying, if you remove the lies, because my argument is this, and this is why I asked you about the genealogy. Christians have an evidence-based faith in the sense of, by that means, let me expand. It means the Bible makes claims, historic claims, and many times we can find archaeological evidence to support those claims. Do atheist scholars believe Jesus was crucified? Atheist scholars, historians, they're not reasonable. Why?
If you're atheist already, anything you say.
No, you see, but I'm saying to you this. In terms of historical facts, and I can bring up to you all the historical archaeological evidence that has been supported by the Bible. For example, historians, no, but let me just make my point. Historians, let me just make my point, because it's clear. For example, Pontius Pilate, historians said he didn't exist. In 1947-49, they found a plaque with his name on it, meaning that the Bible's claims were true. So I'm saying when we investigate the claims, and my proposition is this, the Quran makes claims without the evidence outside of the Quran. For example, that's why I went into the genealogy and I asked you specifically.
The Quran doesn't make that claim. That's the problem. Here's the thing, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Love debate with each other.
No, but listen to my point. I'm saying.
But I understand your point.
There's a claim, not from the. There's a claim that Arabs came from Ishmael. But that's what I'm saying. Engage with my point.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about that again. We'll talk about that again.
Yeah, but let me. 30 seconds, and I'll finish. My point. My point is this. There's a claim of 2 points. Arabs came from Ishmael and Muhammad came from Ishmael. So my point was, what is the evidence that we can look to support both those claims? So I'm saying when the Bible makes claims, we find things archaeologically. Not everything, some things are lost to history. So I'm saying use that same historical approach to your belief. Don't you think it's strange when we cannot find claims outside of the Quran, claims in the Quran that are supported outside of the Quran?
Hilarious, and I thought about this when I left. You asked for one shred of evidence of the Arabs coming from Ismail or Ishmael. Yeah. Then, in like 2 sentences later, you quoted Josephus.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like you already accepting the fact that people said that prior. So what is the whole question and the whole premise that you came with was flawed based on your own answer?
No, I'll tell you why.
But go ahead.
Because appealing to Josephus is called an appeal to authority.
No, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying.
You said it was funny.
I know. I'm saying to believe what Josephus said was true would be.
I don't believe you. I just asked for one source.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the reason why you're saying it's funny because I appealed to Josephus because he said it. I'm saying if he said it, I still have to investigate where did the claim come from.
There's no issue with this, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, Josephus was there way before.
Exactly. So it has to be based on just because he said it doesn't mean it's true.
Why did he say it? Should that be the question first?
Exactly.
You already have us,
right?
I don't have anything to do with Josephus. That's with you.
Yeah.
Right?
So my point was that this is where the earliest where we can get the claim from. But if we investigate in the Bible, we don't find any evidence to strictly support it. The Tanakh, the Old Testament.
Right. Okay. Now here's the question. I don't want to leave the first point. I want to go back to genealogy.
No problem. Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to apply is a critical method.
No, here's the problem with that though, yeah? You don't apply it first with the Bible, with the New Testament. So now, you give me the 2 genealogies. For the sake of argument, let's accept it. Now let's go back to the Old Testament in Chronicles.
Okay.
Right? Chronicles chapter 3.
Okay.
From the beginning up to just verse 15.
All right.
That genealogy is completely different from the one in the New Testament. So what's the critical methodological approach to make that check out?
Okay, let's look at the... bring out yours and I'll look at so we can look at.
Just literally open the Bible. I'm not referencing funny websites. I'm literally referencing the Bible that you accept. Open Chronicles 3 and let's look at the genealogy. It's about 40 names, give or take, a bit more, a bit less. And and
you're comparing that to the one in Matthew.
Or the other one as well.
Yeah, there's 2. One in Matthew, one in Luke.
Whichever one you accept.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you know the argument you're making, because
I know you've had this argument many times before.
No, I'm not sure what you're making. So that's what I'm saying. For example, but that's what I'm saying. There's 2, and
the one in Matthew.
So the one in Matthew uses like 14 by 14 names.
And there's not even 14 by 14.
Okay.
There's like 3 names missing. That's the claim.
So if the claim is the name Joachim, you're talking about the missing names in the Joachim and so forth, right?
There's others as well. Just open them in the Bible. We'll just compare them.
Chronicles what?
1 Chronicles chapter 3. somewhere in the beginning. The beginning of the verse. It ends as verse 15.
Okay. So, which names are missing?
You know this.
I don't know.
You know this.
I-
You know this, people.
If you bring an argument, make the statement.
Okay,
like,
fine. I'll pick
that's
the
what I'm
names.
saying.
I know. We've had this conversation before. I'm surprised.
If you're making a claim,
Here's what you're trying to do, people. Yeah?
I actually don't know what you're.
You know what I'm talking about.
Because if you're talking about, that's what I said, the 14 names, you said it's no, because Matthew condenses it, and that's why I said, was it Joachim and whatnot that were left out?
okay,
Because what I'm trying to say
I'll
is.
give you the names. I'll give you the names.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
we continue,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
idea of that genealogy belonging to Mary, right?
Yeah.
The one in Luke, right? When did that clarification come to be? When did people explain it as that?
That would have been through the church fathers.
No, it's not. The
So
first
where
time
would it
that
have been?
argument was heard was from Annius Vertebral in 1490. There's no evidence of that being the case prior to that.
Okay.
And I'll let you show me evidence.
All right.
To the contrary. But up until Annius Vertebral explained the discrepancy in the genealogy. So
Okay.
the genealogy of Luke being of Mary, but the one of Matthew being of Joseph or whoever.
Okay.
There's no evidence for that being the understanding up until 1490.
So find the missing names and let me
No.
see if I can find the church father
Before the
that
miss-
speaks.
Before the missing names, I'm talking about the two genealogies in Matthew and in Luke.
The what?
The two genealogies in Matthew. Before you go
Yes.
to the Old
All right.
Testament.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Let me see, because I said it was one of the church
It's not
fathers.
the missing names. No?
Yeah, I know, you're
I'm
saying
talking
in
about
terms of
difference in
the different-
genealogy. So
yes.
up until 1490.
All right.
which
Let me
is
find.
like last week. And Annius Vertebral made this claim. There's no evidence before that.
No, because I don't think that would be true, because I know Eusebius gave a different explanation.
That's it though. The thing is, if you can show me evidence,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
evidence,
Right.
of course acceptable evidence, yeah? That's something you can
No, but that's what I'm saying. If the church fathers make that claim, because they were the first people that usurped, let me see.
Any
my
claim
bag
before
there?
1490 of that being the genealogy of Mary.
All right.
You know the beauty of this, right? The majority of people who come to speakers want to get a claim and they bring it. Yeah, I can save a lot of time with this. Yeah, there's no evidence.
No, I have the church fathers thing, so I can just.
I'll give you the book, by the way. I'll give you a few books. Arthur S. Peake, there's two books about this. One of them is
Right.
so in a critical and exegetical commentary of the Gospel according to St. Luke, page 1. It's on page 103. The fact that he comes to that conclusion.
Right.
You can go look at it. You don't have more claims. That one's a bit of a dead end because I've been looking at that for a week.
Okay, right. I've got it. This is Ambrose of Milan, AD 397, because I have the church fathers.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it says, in regard to Luke 3, it says, you see that the description of descent is connected by the old custom from the fathers to the sons and from the sons to the fathers. You see that the family is everywhere listed through the generations of the husband. Do not marvel if Matthew reports the order of generations from Abraham to Joseph and Luke from Joseph to Adam to God. Do not marvel that Joseph's lineage is described. Indeed, being born according to the flesh, he must follow the usage of the flesh, and he who came into the world must be described in the custom of the world, particularly as the lineage of Mary is also in the lineage of Joseph. That's 1,000 years before. Whatever Islamic website you're going to,
It's the book. I'll read the book.
this is the church fathers. Look,
Here's the point.
Ambrose of Milan.
That's the
Let's
point.
see who. But that's what I'm saying, because we don't have writings earlier. Because you're saying it came in the 15th century. I've just shown you it came earlier.
Have you heard of Annius Vertebral?
I don't need to. Have you heard of
need to.
Ambrose of Milan?
Yeah, the church fathers, yes. I've
Yes,
read them, but
so
I've
if-
read that. This is the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
The point I'm trying to make. People misunderstood the whole point. The point is,
Yes.
very clearly,
Right.
the argument that is used to justify the discrepancies in the genealogies,
Right.
as we know them today, the same argument that you make.
Right.
Yeah? This wasn't the argument prior to that. This quotation of the church fathers, first of all. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the source for this? That's another question.
I have an app with the church
No,
fathers.
no. According to who, yeah, did the church father say this?
Huh?
According to who did the church father say this?
What do you mean according
How
to
do we know
who?
he said this?
How do we know who said
The
this?
church father.
Because, I mean, come on, I've given you the evidence and you're saying...
No, I'm making a point. This is
Yeah, but I'm saying-
not just asking. I'm not refusing the evidence.
Yeah.
Because this is not my refutation of the evidence.
Yeah.
This is the question I'm making. Because I have another point. I know about this point.
All right.
So according to who? Yeah. Or what is our? If I quote right now that Pontius Pilate said something, and I give it to you, how do you substantiate that he actually said that?
Well, we'll take it as face value from
It's face value.
yeah, from where we received it.
When do we get this? When do we get this? What's the question I'm asking?
Where did we get what?
Yeah, because this specific thing that's mentioned, and if you read the book by Arthur S. Lee, yeah, he covers this as well.
Okay.
Right? But for you to accept this, and this is what the church father said,
Right.
how do you know he said this? Apart from the fact that he said so something.
Because I would believe we have the manuscripts and writing.
But that's not the question. Of course you believe it, that's what you're telling me. But why?
Right.
Do you,
Why?
why do you believe that he Ambrose specifically said this?
Because from a historical perspective, as people would take this as to be true. So not even removing my Christian beliefs, and that's why we have, for example, Western scholarship as an objective point of view. So I'm saying if I went to, if I went to a historian,
You don't understand the question.
yes, but I'm saying,
understand the question?
I understand. I'm saying from historical method, when we find a document, we assume, our natural position is to presume it's true. So,
Wait, the natural position is to assume that it is true.
yeah, because from a historical perspective, if you find a document 1500 years old,
Just assume it's true.
of course, until you find things that contradict it. For example, when people read the hieroglyphics, they don't say this is false, do they? They say this is what we learn about Egyptian life. Were they there? No, that's my point. So why they take... When people talk about...
That's very problematic.
Yeah, but I'm saying objective historical method has to have a methodology. When we learn about the Egyptians, how many people lived in Egyptian times? None. So when they translate the hieroglyphics...
But you can't appeal to that in this conversation.
Yeah, but you said, how do we know this is true?
No, I'm specifically asking directly.
Yes.
Yeah? Paperboy.
Yeah,
You have a quote from Ambrose.
Yes.
Who was a church father.
yeah.
How do we know that he said this? I'm not talking about the historicity of the claim.
Because if he has... I'm not sure what this is taken from. Let
That's
me see.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah, the church fathers have writings, they have books, so it would have been taken from one of their exegesis.
That's the problem.
Right.
The reason I'm asking this question, there's this saying from Ambrose. There's a few. There's
Okay.
a few others.
All right.
Yeah, in the same light.
Okay.
However, the point where you can say, yeah, this was definitely the first time. Definitely, this is the first time this claim was made. There's no proof to that. The only place we can take back this claim and we know it definitely came from him is Annius. Right? And this is not from me, this is not from some Islamic website, this is from Arthur S. Peak.
Okay, so what's your point? He's quoting someone, you're saying his work quotes someone else, is that what you're saying?
I'll give you a similar example. Yeah?
Okay.
We claim that
Plato.
No. We claim, it's the Bible, about the Bible, right? We claim that, you're freezing, I'm going to dash.
All right.
The claim is that the people who wrote the Gospels, some of them were eyewitnesses, some of them were students of the eyewitnesses of the crucifixion or whatever.
Right.
But that's the thing, that's just a claim.
Right.
Meaning, and even then, even if you go further,
Right.
no one in the Gospel ever claims themselves that this is the inspired word of God. But
Okay.
we accept it anyway. That's the issue. It's in the same light, these
Right.
sayings of the church fathers,
Yeah.
although we can't put it back to them,
Yeah.
we accept them in the same light. And that's besides the point. But what I'm trying to make is, let me give you a quote.
I think you're making a very bad argument, and I'll go to the scriptures, the Gospels, and this is what I started off with. In Islamic belief and Christian belief, people make claims, and in Islam they make claims. It is only in the Bible that we can investigate the claims, and we find more things through history and archaeology,
Yeah, and that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
that then gives veracity to the story. For example, the Quran talks about a great man called Dhul Qarnayn, that even the kings of the world submitted to him. Now, if this guy was so great, how come we do not know who the real person is? Claim one. Claim two, how come we cannot even find these iron gates? You said to that other guy the week before, it's the realm of the unseen. My point is, every time the Quran makes a claim, you always have to appeal to the unseen. When the Christians, for example, no, but let me finish.
This claim,
No, but let me just finish the point. That's why I said, even for example, No, but let me finish my point.
Finish your point.
All right, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why I said, even a small person like Pontius Pilate, we found something related to them. Even Herod, we find archaeological evidence supporting. The Quran makes a grand claim, just like everyone should know, Dhul Qarnayn.
No one says everyone should know. But go ahead.
No, but if Dhul Qarnayn was the greatest king, that even kings submitted to him, and we can't even find who this person is, why should I believe the claims in the Quran? Because everything is that knowledge is with Allah.
No, it's not. That's not you. You're making it's
If I go to
no, 1 second. It's an open end. Okay, for many reasons.
Why?
You know, you paint this picture of everything in the Bible. We can see evidence.
I didn't say everything, because some things are lost to history.
No, that's not about being lost to history. There's some things objective in the Bible that even you accept that we do not know about, right? But who knows? If you don't know, who knows?
Such as what?
Literally, there's so many claims in the Bible.
Okay.
Right? If you can, because the claim you're making is you make it seem like everything you accept has to be proven historically.
No, I'm saying.
That's the claim.
No. Let me clarify my claim.
I understand you. The problem.
No, but you just strawmanned my point.
I didn't strawman your point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say everything. I said if you have two documents, and one of the documents provides things, makes internal claims that are more supported outside of the text, I'm going to find that text more reliable than a text that makes me make internal claims that may seem logically consistent that we cannot find evidence for.
It's a very simple logical question.
Right.
You claim that this one text has evidence for what it's saying, and the other one does not. Now, what happens when you have evidence that goes against what the text is saying, and the other one, just because you're not knowing?
Right.
So, for example, you know of Schrodinger's cat.
It's dead, it's not alive.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So, but that's besides the point, right? But it's akin to that idea.
Right.
Just because you cannot see something and prove something,
Right.
the point is, as long as you accept, I think that's the part you don't understand. As long as you
I understand it
accept
perfectly.
that this is the word of God.
Do you believe Abraham Lincoln exists?
Who?
Abraham Lincoln.
That he existed?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do.
Why?
Because there's evidence for it.
What?
The fact that he is on actual textual.
Someone could have made it up.
No, but someone could have made it up.
You
That's
see?
true. That's true.
But this is the whole point.
No, but that's the point.
You're
Abraham Lincoln
using.
has nothing to do with my salvation. That's the difference.
No.
Do you believe dinosaurs
You see?
existed? What does that
I'm
do
saying
with
to
anything?
you, for Abraham Lincoln,
You're equating Abraham Lincoln
do you
and God,
believe
like-
Plato existed?
What'd you say?
Do you believe Plato existed?
Plato.
Yeah, Socrates.
If you Plato, Socrates, Aristotle.
Yes, do you believe they
can talk
existed?
about, Mahatma Gandhi. This doesn't matter.
Do you believe that? But
My
point.
belief and non-belief in their existence has nothing
no,
to do
I'll
with.
tell you why. Do you believe they existed? Yes or no?
I mean, they probably did. Yes.
Right. So my point would be, the Bible has better attestation than those people that you believe in. Because you said, how can I trust the Gospels? So I'm saying to you, if you're using a historical method to apply to Aristotle, Socrates, and whatnot to come to the conclusion that they exist, because the documents for them exist hundreds of years later.
Okay, so
I'm saying,
let me ask you a few questions. People who do you believe existed?
Yeah, but
do you even know? Do you believe Noah existed?
Yes.
Why do you believe Noah existed?
yeah, but we're jumping. Yeah,
We're not jumping. It's the same point.
Yes, no.
Why do you believe Noah
Because
existed?
I'm saying, yes, let me get to the point. So I'm saying to you, in terms of one historical method, because my first point was this: when we look at things objectively,
If you use the historical method on that point,
Right.
Noah existed, you will shoot yourself in the foot. Because it's
No,
like,
yes.
at one point you're like, oh yeah, I'm just a historian.
No.
Then like 5 seconds
Yeah.
later, oh yeah, we just believe it.
but this is my point, and that's where you're diverting from. Because I can get certain things that are a matter of faith. I agree, no problem. But my point was this: if you have two books, the book that makes internal claims that have more attestation outside appear to be more reliable.
That's not true. The claim you're making is everything in the Quran we don't know.
Give me something that we know in the Quran.
We know about the fact that in the time of Joseph, alayhi salam,
Right.
the person ruling the place was a king.
That guy would like to have a chat with you when you're ready.
Okay.
So for example,
Do you mind if we?
we can go ahead and have a chat.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Are you here next week? It's just because he's not here every week.
It's fine. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fine, it's
yeah.
fine. I'll be around.
So, or if you're still around here, because I don't know how long.
No, I'll be
I
around.
think
I'm
he's gonna
gonna
go.
go. We can talk next week.
Yeah. All right.
Take
Cool.
care.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just do a wrap up. So, I mean, I have very pleasant conversations with Hershey, I think his name is. So, just a quick wrap up. We can clearly see the guy was going around in circles, and I was trying to explain to him, and this is the thing, like, the Quran makes claims about history that we can never ever find or testify. And people say, how do we know the Bible is reliable? The Bible, even through critical scholarship, historians and whatnot, they look at investigate claims, and maybe some things are not always attestable, but any reasonable person knows that the more claims that are made and the more that you can attest, the more validity it has. So compared to the Quran makes many, many claims, and we can never find examples or historical resources to attest what the Quran is saying is true. For example, that's why he was trying to bring up the genealogy of Muhammad, and there is no attestation of any Arabs before the advent of Islam attesting to this person. So it's like the Islamic and Arab history relies on the speech of one man. Whereas with the Bible, there's many, many claims from many different authors that we can attest. So the logical question was, who would you believe? One man, let's just say his story narrative sounds more plausible, but when you actually try and fact check it against history, everything comes up blank. Whereas we have the Bible, and it gives us so much information and knowledge archaeologically, historically, about what transpired. So this is why anyone who's looking into both religions should come to Christianity, come to Jesus. No scholar rejects the crucifixion. The Quran says it appeared like there was a crucifixion, so tell us what actually happened. Many claims without any factual evidence to support it. So on that note, Paperboy out.